our spectacular campsites on the most remote of tracks, to the workshop and everything in between. Your next episode of Great Off-Road Adventures is just seconds away. G'day everyone, it's Graham and Jess from Great Off-Road Adventures. Just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you've enjoyed 2018 and hope you're looking forward to 2019. We're going to recap what we got up to in 2018 this video. We're going to have some of our favourite drone footage, and we put a Q&A out there the other day, and we've got a few questions to answer as well. So let's start with the Q&A.
No worries. I've got Charles Murray from YouTube. Are you planning any longer trips in 2019, or what are your plans for the channel?
So 2019, we've been a bit slack with our planning. We're gonna do some short weekend trips at the start of the year, and we've got a couple options for a longer trip in the middle to the end of next year. We're just waiting to finalise those, so until they're finalised I'm not going to say what they are. Okay,
and Jamie on YouTube, keen to know how you installed the 270 awning.
So it's an Easy Awn 270 degree batwing. It's on a Tracklander flat rack. I'm using the Tracklander awning mounts, the ones that clamp around the mesh of the rack. I've made up some little aluminium blocks to reinforce the mounts. That's just because the awning, with it being freestanding, puts a bit more force on the mounts. And then I've spaced the awning far enough back that it folds around behind the spoiler on the car. So I'll give you a close-up look at that now, see how it works, but it goes behind the spoiler when you open the tailgate. The glass does just touch the aluminium, but I've got pinch weld on it so it doesn't scratch anything.
Okay, 4x4 Australia on Facebook. Hey Graham, what has to be your favourite trip of 2018? What made it so special, and would you do it again?
Jess and I went through these questions in the car, and we sort of said, let's break down our big trip, Rocks to Reefs, into the 3 segments. So Karijini, Exmouth, Shark Bay, and then obviously all our other trips. Each trip we did this year definitely had some highlights. My favourite section of trip would have to be Karijini, I think. It was my first time in the Pilbara, and the colours and all that, it's just awesome. And then a close second I think would have to be going to Albany at the start of the year and doing Bornholm Beach, conquering that climb back off the beach. Yours?
Definitely Exmouth. I'm a lover of Exmouth through and through. The whale sharks sold me, I'm pretty sure. I'll forever be talking about how fantastic that trip was, with all the diving we did with the whale sharks.
Alright, next question.
So, the Wandering Oz on Facebook. If you could build an old rig, what would it be?
Old 80 series cruiser, solid axles, and I'd probably convert and put a HDT FTE with an auto. So all the grunt, but old school and reliable, and live axles.
No worries. That one brown dog on Facebook. If you could do anything to your Land Cruiser, what would it be? And you get endless amounts of money.
Buy a camper trailer. I don't have any plans to get rid of this car, not for a long time, and it's pretty much set up for what we do. The only thing that's going to sort of be added to it for us is needing a camper trailer in a few years' time, so that's probably what it would be.
Okay, off-road touring life. One modification that you have done that you wouldn't bother with again because you don't use it.
I've already removed it. I had a third battery in my engine bay. It came when I bought the car. I thought it was awesome. I could put an auxiliary battery there and an auxiliary battery behind my headlights. I had 200 amp hours of auxiliary power, and then the auxiliary battery tray with all the off-roading we do and the corrugations, it started to destroy the inner guard. It started to crack some of the mounting points, so I pulled it out. That's pretty much the one that comes to mind as the modification that we did that we got that we regretted having, that we don't use anymore now. Anyway, next.
Mark Waters, do you have lockers? Use them much?
No diff locks in the 200 series. I had them in my Ranger, used them all the time then, but the 200 has a lot more suspension travel and flex, and it's also got traction control, so when you do lose traction to those wheels, when it gets crossed up or when you start lifting a wheel, the traction control's always been able to drive the car through the situation. So it's not that I don't think I need lockers or don't want lockers, I just haven't found a need for them with this car yet.
No worries. Jason Smith, I would also like to see how you plan your trips.
A couple questions there about planning trips. What Jess and I do, we have a big paper map at home. We sit down with that. We sit down with the HEMA, the iPad and the computer. We have Google Earth and all that open, and we just plan that way. But to go into the detail of how we plan and prepare for our trips would really need to be a whole video in itself. So I'll put that on the video list for next year.
No worries. Roy Mellon, how do the time lapse of those amazing skies?
Again, there's been a couple of questions about the time lapses. I learned to do my time lapses off YouTube, so my recommendation would be if you already have a DSLR and a tripod, you'll need also an intervalometer, so that's just either plugs into the side of the camera, or even some DSLRs have it built in, but all it does is it just triggers the next photo continuously at the intervals that you set it to do. So with that basic equipment, you can go out and do time lapses / night lapses. Again, I self-taught myself back off of YouTube, so I'd start there. And again, that's one of those ones where for me to go into the detail of how I do it, it would take up the whole video. So given there's been a few questions about it, I'll look at doing it in a video next year as well.
No worries. And last one for the day, so it's not too long. Gino Rossi wants to know storing meats for long trips. How long do you get them out of your vac seal meats, and are they frozen or not frozen?
Yep. For all our trip, well, yeah, pretty much all our trips, anything longer than a weekend, we will vacuum seal our food. So if we pre-cook like a chicken curry or spaghetti bolognese or something, the sauce, we'll even vacuum seal that. We'll, if we buy some steaks or even our bacon that we do for breakfast, we will put that into vacuum seal bags. We'll vacuum seal that and we'll freeze it. So normally a week before we go, like our big trips for rocks to reefs and stuff like that, we will about a week beforehand go and do our food shopping for all our meats, and then we will vacuum seal it, and we'll have the second fridge that we're putting in the car actually in the house at home on 240, and we'll freeze it all in the fridge because it takes up less space. So if you freeze it in your freezer at home and then it warps, and then you go and pack it in your fridge, there's those little air pockets there that you lose space. So we freeze everything in the fridge that we're taking in the car. So we start about a week beforehand and do it all then. But yeah, I'll probably include a piece on that when I do my trip planning and trip preparations video.
All right, and that was all the questions.
Awesome. A couple questions that come to my mind from, on reflection from 2018 would be our favourite campsite. So where's your favourite campsite been this year?
Ooh, I'm going to be really weird for a change and say that caravan park in Denmark we went to at the start of the year.
When we did the Albany trip?
I think part of it was just pure gratitude at them fitting us in on a public holiday, which otherwise we were not camping anywhere. And yeah, they managed to fit us in, like in this little nook where we felt like we were still camping on our own for most of the time. So was very grateful for the people there. So yeah, that would probably be mine for this year.
Okay, so a shout out to the Denmark Riverbends Caravan Park. My favourite campsite this year, I think it's probably going to be fairly widely known already, but Magic Pool. Magic Pool up in the Pilbara between Tom Price and Paraburdoo. It definitely deserves its name. It was just superb. So yeah, the colours, the peace and quiet, the water, the sand, the trees, it was by far the standout campsite for this year for us. All right, so another question from us. What would be your one piece of advice to someone new, someone looking at starting to do some camping and adventuring?
From me personally, I would be saying you don't need all the gear that we have. Before I met Graham, I always wanted to go out and do camping. I had a Colorado, but I was always too scared because I had a stock Colorado and I was shame on me because it was stock. But even a stock, any car, you can get out there and enjoy it. There's heaps of places around Perth, just outside of Perth. You don't need all the gear under the sun to start going. We sort of get the gear more these days to be comfortable and glamp. But definitely just get out there and have a shot. Just go for a drive. Yeah,
that's a bloody good point that Jess has raised there. Like you can see it in the videos, my parents have got pretty much a stock Amarok, stock height, stock tyres, all terrains. They've got a bull bar, canopy, some drawers, and again they've only gotten the drawers to make their lives a bit more easier and a bit more comfortable with storing stuff when they go away. So you don't need everything that we've got. Sure, it looks cool and you know sometimes it's functional, but to get out there and to go and do some exploring, you don't need it all. No. If you're going to get to the point where you're going to do it more frequently, you're going to be away for longer durations more often, then by all means go and look at doing some modifications that makes your car and your traveling and your camping more comfortable. But yeah, my piece of advice would be just get out there, give it a go, because you'll work out what you need, what you don't need fairly quickly, and how comfortable you are and how to make it more comfortable for you.
Yeah, and as you'll see at the start of next year's videos, you don't have to go far too. Even if it's just a day trip out of Perth, just to have a break from the rat race and enjoy the day with friends or family.
Yep. This spot we're in now is an hour from home, maybe even less.
And it's a fantastic spot just to chill, have a picnic, go for an explore, and even my little car that is not a four-wheel drive could probably get here these days.
Actually, it could get here. This is a secret spot though, guys, so I'm keeping it to myself. I've been coming here for a few years and gradually I've been noticing it deteriorate as more people come here, so please accept the fact that I want to keep it a secret because I don't want it destroyed. But
not saying that you guys would destroy it, of course.
Yeah.
But we've got to have a secret spot somewhere.
Everyone has them. Everyone has their secret spots, and they're a secret for a reason. So one more question. Jess just came up with it. It was, what was our favourite prank or joke for 2018? So go ahead.
So mine was our group of friends keep making fun of me because I fall asleep in the car, which Graham finds hilarious.
Yeah, I make fun of her too. I try and video it.
One of our friends, Elise, actually presented me this year with some sunglasses with eyes drawn on them so I can wear the sunnies in the car so no one knows I'm asleep anymore. So shout out to Elise, that was an awesome prank, and I still have them and I still love them.
I think that was the same trip where my funniest prank comes from. That would be Kieran. I'm blaming you for it, for the cable ties on my drive shafts, both front and back. I heard one, which I cut off, and then I kept going and I heard more. So I just kept driving and they just broke themselves off. And then I ended up at my mechanics at Henderson's, and he found out 2 more that had come loose that needed cutting off. So it was rather funny. My suggestion though would be use the big fat cable ties, not the really little ones, because the little ones break off easy. Use the big ones to make more noise. So yes, they're our best memories from 2018. So look, let's wrap up this bit now. Again, just want to remind you all to drive safe on the roads if you're going to be travelling around this festive season. We want you obviously to get to all your destinations and home again safely and in one piece. We're going to be travelling around as well, so we'll be sharing the roads with you. If you do see us, say hello, wave, toot the horn, do something to get our attention, you know. But yeah, look, all good. Happy safe adventuring, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We look forward to seeing you all again in 2019. So thanks very much for sharing 2018 with us. We hope you enjoyed it. And now we'll leave you with our favourite bits of footage, our favourite drone shots, time lapses, all of that. And we'll see you next year.
Brilliant.
See you guys.
See ya.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching great off-road adventures throughout the year. If you've enjoyed watching the recap, go and check out all our other footage. There's heaps there. And remember, subscribe to my channel because we've got big plans for 2019. I'm really looking forward to putting it all together for you and showing you where we go. So happy, safe adventuring, and we'll see you in 2019, guys.